was writing for music papers, and I was also taking photos. When this is the late 70s, early 80s, when quite a lot of bands started working videos and films, projections for their live sets, which is when I realized that, well, kind of this idea of the sound and the image simultaneously would be more interesting than rather than just writing texts or just doing photography, the still photography. So I just wanted to experiment a little. And it was also at the time when the London Video Arts, which had been going on since the late 70s, they got the funding from the Arts Council to get equipment to rent out to artists for a reasonable amount of money. So professional gear for artists, and it was just exactly that time. So I became a member and hired their stuff and started experimenting. But before that, I had a VHS camera as well. So I was already doing some experiments. And in fact, in my first piece, there are footage that was shot using the proper gear, but there's also a lot of stuff I shot with my VHS stuff as well. So it's all mixed. And and then, of course, through London Video Arts, they used to have screenings every week, and so I got to see other people's work, and I met other artists, and that's how and then I got involved in these certain aspects of the art. I was kind of involved in the event side of the Arts Council, not Arts Council, London Video Arts, and also they had a catalogue, but they were in the process of doing a new catalogue, so I helped with that a little, but it never actually came out. And yeah, so that's how it started. Back in those days in England, you'd never buy your TV, you rent them. And so they started doing not just the TV, but VHS decks rentals as well. And there was one company who were doing a portable one rather than just a normal deck. So I hired a portable one. Yeah, but the thing is, U-matic was as heavy as a television format anyway. And it was an industrial format. And I know in some countries they actually used U-matic, it was for broadcast. VVU, that would be high band. It would be something like that. Yeah, well, these were the decks we were using. But that's on. Oh God, you can buy it for under £100 now. Sorry. So we shot the Super 8, which we transferred onto 1-inch. And what we used to do, or kind of what was, then you make a low band copy with a band in time code, and you do an offline with a low band copy, and then once you've got the edit list, I can show you the edit list. You go to the 1-inch studio and edit it, do the online edit there. And that's when you add the effects. You make a list of effects to add, but you do it in online. These things it's an on-off Umatic edit suite. That's the controller. Shall I plug it in so that you can actually see but I mean I can show you the. So that's a controller for the player, and that's a controller for the recorder. It's probably better if I plug it in. You kind of find your place for the player this side, and you put in, edit out, or you can do it on this side, which is the recorder side. You find, well, actually you have to find the in point for both. Out point, you don't have to set, you can actually stop manually. And then there's a preview button, so you see if your edit is okay or not, and if not, you can trim like -1 or +2. And there are 2 different modes. The either assemble is just go through the whole tape, right over the whole tape. Insert would be just the video track or the channel 1 or channel 2. So once you've got your edit point set, then you just press this and it would do it. Yeah, that's edit. So that if you haven't set the out point and you want to finish you can just press that. I mean, I do actually have because this one's modified, so but it was not, so it was very imprecise. But the thing is, I mean, I didn't have to have a finished product here. All I needed to know the edit points. So this didn't have, but whereas the earlier tapes, my own work, would be on Umatic. So again, if it doesn't work, then you'd have to get it. So what you do with the offline is you can either write, because the time code is on the screen, you can either write down the numbers and take it to the online. Another system would be if you have the time code on the track, audio track as well as on the picture, then you can get readouts made, like computer readouts. Like that, and they will give you on a floppy disk, so you can take it to the online and then put that in. But this is I only did this for the one section I just could not edit on Hiho Banban. But what I usually do is write down the numbers like that, and then take it to the, and then I had a quite good online editor, and I would just tell him the numbers, and he would just type it in, and then that would be it. But of course, there's so many edits, so it's quite a lot of work. That's the A roll. That's the B roll, which is not, there aren't that many B rolls. And that's the C roll. What's that? Yeah. But I mean, it's just like, because there's so many edits there. Yeah, and of course we're talking about the audio as well, so there's a lot of list here. That's the whole composition. That's music soundtrack, which is actually it was so imprecise that you had to, it was very difficult to get the right points, as you say. And also, what was that? The power sequence thing. The field has to be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You can't cut 1 2 1 2, which means there are certain points that you cannot edit. So there was that complication as well. If you want like kind of just like 1 second, and if it doesn't fit, then that's. So that was quite difficult. God, it must have been about 4 weeks. I mean, we weren't working it non-stop, but I think we had about 3-4 weeks. And then, as I said, there was one section I just could not edit. So went to this place where and got another editor to do it because I just couldn't. And it's that bit where the record turntable goes. It was just like impossible for me to get all the edits. And this guy's a professional editor managed to do it, but it took hours and hours and hours. We mostly worked nights, but it was still, we could just do it whenever we wanted to. There used to be offline studios as well. I mean, I used to prefer like borrowing gear and then hiring gear and doing it at home because you can work on 24 hours. But there were studios for offline as well. It cost about the same, I think. Very good. Question: where's the budget? Is that the budget? Yeah, but we hire them by the week, so offline. Production. What's post production? Oh yeah. Yeah, it was £100 a day. And the offline with time code in the studio was a bit more, £150. £3,584 would be about just over 10,000 Deutschmarks, so €5,000. CDV is a format that was just coming out, which is CD video, it's a Philips format, which is why we chose to do this, or Mute thought, I can't remember whose idea it was, but this as a format, it must have been our idea. But it basically didn't last, and there was very few releases, so we were, in one video magazine, we got the best CDB music award because there wasn't anything else. And it was really bad. I mean, Philips are really bad quality anyway. All discs, Philips discs. So, but no, everyone bought this just for the music because no one actually had the machine to play the video. I only saw one friend who had the machine. So I asked him, I played it on his machine and it looked really, really bad. We did it for Mute Records, which so it came out as CDB and the record, the 12-inch. There's nothing, it's just a record. Oh, nice labels. That's a track list that was included in the CD release. CD-ROM is much later. It's 2000? Late 90s, early 2000s. Well, this is 80s. It's called saxophone and different shaped wood, and he would play it with a bow, but it just does not sound like a wooden thing. It's just made all kinds of like strange noises. And he had a fantastic website, interactive, but of course that was Flash. But someone had a great idea of actually going through the whole thing and then recording it. So at least as a movie, it's on the YouTube, you can see, even though it doesn't have the interactive side. The Killer Berlin Doc, have you seen the film? And there was a CD-ROM, which a friend of mine did, and it was, it actually won awards for like good design. And of course you can't play that anymore, but there is an online version which my friend had to reprogram everything from the scratch. the online version was programmed in Flash. So, and of course, that doesn't work anymore on any website. So it probably doesn't work anymore. So you can't see it anywhere. Yeah. Unless you have an old computer to the CD-ROMs, because of the... I've got some really nice ones, like... That's yours, isn't it? It's 24 Hours Berlin, and that's a nice one of Michael Bruntrup. It's... and one by Kazuko Hoki. I've got shit. Yeah, I've got several others. And of course, I've got all these Monty Python ones, which I can't play. I love these Monty Python ones. Yeah. And got all this. Let's see. That's it. Trevor Brown. Christina Kubish. Yeah. Who is that? All kinds of, there's all these different ones. It's a shame. You thought the all artists want to work with, experiment with new things, and which is true, but there is, digital is a completely different thing. It has completely different aesthetics, and I don't know, it's not, I don't particularly like that aesthetics, and it's good for certain things. I mean, as I said, if you want to put lots of layers, with digital you can do it without losing any quality. With analog, only way you could do it, as in audio, by playing in another layer, so recording it, so you have the second generation, and if you want to put another one, you have to play again, and so that would be the third generation. By the time, fourth or fifth, it would start looking really grubby. And if you like that, look, that's fine, but I mean, it was just not very nice. So, whereas with digital, it's just so nice and simple. And also, yes, I mean, so there is that advantage, and other things, I'm sure, as well. But I don't know, as I said, it's just two different things.